Good morning. Happy New Year to all. Thank you, Uncle, for such a nice presentation. So my part of presentation is bariatric surgery before liver transplant. So I'll be talking just basics about bariatric surgery, the magnitude of problem, the relationship between bariatric surgery and liver disease, different scenario of bariatric surgery concerning liver transplant, the results of various studies, and finally an algorithm. So bariatric surgery is defined as surgery that promotes weight loss. It is broadly divided into two types, restrictive surgeries and malabsorptive surgeries. Restrictive surgery means you are going to restrict the capacity of stomach so that patient cannot eat much. In layman terms, so there are three types of restrictive surgeries. One is sleeve gastrectomy, the first one. The other is Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. As you can see in the second picture, the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, the capacity of stomach is reduced and Roux-en-Y loop is anastomosed to it. So the capacity of the stomach is very less. And third is adjustable lap band, where a lap band is placed around the stomach. It can be adjusted using a subcutaneous port. So this is sleeve gastrectomy nowadays is the most commonly performed procedure. Lap band has been abandoned because of a lot of this band related complications, and Roux-en-Y is gradually shifting towards sleeve gastrectomy. In India, most of the bariatric surgeons will perform sleeve gastrectomy. In West, still Roux-en-Y gastric bypass is performed in some of the centers. Just to mention the malabsorptive surgeries, which has a restrictive component as well as malabsorptive component. Malabsorptive means the common channel where a pancreatic and biliary juice will meet the food is smaller. So there is a malabsorption as well as the capacity of stomach is reduced. So initially it was biliopancreatic diversion. Now it is duodenal switch. It had multiple complications like marginal ulcer and dumping syndrome. To mitigate them, this was proposed, and this is performed in patients with severe obesity, but it's a contraindication in patients with liver disease. So we are left with two options in transplant scenario where we are dealing with patients with chronic liver disease, either a sleeve gastrectomy or a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Sleeve gastrectomy, although leads to less weight loss, but is associated with less complications, less reoperations, no interference with immunosuppression, as this Roux-en-Y gastric bypass has a bit of malabsorptive component, so it might interfere with immunosuppression. And because they are going for liver transplant, so there is easier access to biliary system. Here the anatomy is altered. You can see access to biliary system is going to be difficult. So what is the magnitude of problem? The problem of obesity in patients undergoing liver transplant. This is UNOS data published in 2020. You can see in 2018, around 20% patients, this purple line and violet line, they were BMI more than 35 who underwent liver transplant. So you can imagine every 1 in 5 patient who is undergoing liver transplant has a BMI of more than 35. This was in 2018, and this is we are going to get the same thing after some time as there is diabetic epidemic going on. So what are the issues of liver transplant in patients with high BMI? Why are we so concerned? Class 3 obesity, that is BMI more than 40, is a relative contraindication according to ASLD. Although these guidelines were in 2013 and recent literature was not available, but still 20% centers from USA, they will not accept patients of BMI more than 40. These patients are also less likely to undergo liver transplantation even if they are listed. They have a higher mortality on the wait list. And in live donor, we have another problem that GRWR is going to be small, as the GRWR is calculated according to the weight of the recipient. So what happens? Why are we so concerned? Why this nihilism surrounds the patient with high BMI who are undergoing liver transplant? There is clear data. There is 1.35 higher risk of mortality in these patients if they undergo liver transplant. This was a recent data, but a recent meta-analysis has showed that as the time has progressed, that the results have improved, but still it is not as much as it can be acceptable. And it is related with more complex surgery. There is prolonged hospital stay, more wound complications and pulmonary complications, and most important is it is a very high, they have a very high risk of major cardiovascular event after surgery. So just to revise the indications of bariatric surgery, any patient with BMI of more than 40 or 35 with obesity related comorbidity like diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, NAFLD as Dr. Ankur described, they are candidates for bariatric surgery in general population. So what are the theoretical or described effects of bariatric surgery on liver disease? It leads to marked weight loss, it increases GLP, remission of metabolic risk factors like diabetes, dyslipidemia and hypertension. This has an important implication on transplant because before selecting a patient, it's not just the weight, but other comorbidities are also taken into account. It improves long-term mortality. There is some histological improvement in NASH, and there is decrease in, although not proven, but it theoretically decreases decompensation events, hepatocellular carcinoma, portal and thrombosis, and ACLF in patients with NASH. So why not we offer bariatric surgery to all the patients who are having liver disease if it has such a good effect? Because if you see the data, there is for patients of decompensated cirrhosis goes for bariatric surgery, the mortality is 16%. Compared to those who do not have liver disease, the mortality in them, the mortality is 0.3. And those with compensated cirrhosis, the mortality is 0.9. Again, US population-based data, large data, with 9,000 cirrhotics undergoing bariatric surgery, the mortality was 1.81%. This figure is very high for patients undergoing bariatric surgery because the standard is should be less than 0.2%. Although the newer data, like this one, a systematic review of 122 compensated cirrhotics, there was no mortality if a sleeve gastrectomy or Roux-en-Y gastric bypass was done compared to malabsorptive procedures. And nowadays nobody does malabsorptive procedures in cirrhotics or patients with liver disease. Sleeve gastrectomy has become the standard of care. Again, long-term data has shown good improvement. Another important and concerning point is aggravation of sarcopenia. Patients who have sarcopenic obesity and who undergo bariatric surgery, their sarcopenia gets aggravated and actually their mortality increases. So it's very important to exclude sarcopenia when you are planning a bariatric surgery in a patient with CLD. So coming to my presentation, there are three scenarios when bariatric surgery has a relation with the liver transplant. First is before liver transplant. It can be done to improve the candidacy where patients are rejected on the basis of BMI, or it can be done remote from liver transplant to manage obesity, but now a patient has decompensated and come for liver transplant. Other two scenarios are during the transplant and after the transplant. I will not be discussing these last 2 points. So what is the effect of liver disease on outcome of bariatric? So whether the literature can answer some of the important questions about bariatric surgery in relation to liver transplant before liver transplant. So the first question that comes to our mind is, does bariatric surgery improve the candidacy? You can see there are 3 papers on it. Numbers are small, but all significant numbers, and all of them have undergone sleeve gastrectomy. Candidacy has achieved means they have come to a BMI where they can be considered a candidate in almost all the patients. And although there is a reporting bias on this, but this is important. But when you see actual number of patients who have been transplanted, it comes to around 30%. So if you see from another point of view, these all patients were rejected, and out of them now 30% have been transplanted. So it's actually a good result. But some of the lessons that has to be learned, they were all either child A or early B. None of the patients had child C. None of the patients were decompensated. In the last study, they had taken patients who had a history of decompensation, but at the time of bariatric surgery, they were compensated, and only a mild portal hypertension at max, not more than mild portal hypertension. So if you have such a strict selection criteria, then it comes to mind then why these patients need a transplant. They are early child, early B, no portal hypertension, no decompensation. So actually these patients are patients who have given exception points for liver transplantation because of HCC or some other thing, and now they have high BMI, so they underwent a bariatric procedure. If you see the duration of these studies, they will span around 10 years, 15 years. So 15 years they will do just 20 such procedures. So you can understand the rarity of thing, but still It is an important finding. Now the another question comes to us is, does a patient with previous bariatric surgery fare the same on waitlist as those without bariatric surgery? So these are the patients who have undergone bariatric surgery removed from their transplant, and now they have decompensated. There are two papers, both have identical number of patients, and what they have shown was these patients have higher waitlist mortality, higher delisting, fewer chances of getting a transplant. And another important message was malnutrition and sarcopenia. If these two factors were removed, then they had an equal chance. So these two have to be managed properly after bariatric surgery if a patient is going for liver transplant. Another important point is most of these patients underwent Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. As I said, it is not nowadays preferred in patients who are having advanced liver disease to do a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Sleeve gastrectomy should be the choice. The third question is, does prior bariatric surgery affect the transplant outcome? Now these are the patients who have actually undergone liver transplant after bariatric surgery after proper selection. They are very selected group of patients, and if they undergo transplant, the results are similar. But it doesn't mean bariatric surgery doesn't hamper the effect of the liver transplantation. It means that after proper selection, these patients will fare well. So finally, an algorithm on patients who have a CLD and compensated cirrhotics, who are planned for CLD and compensated patients who are planned for bariatric surgery. So if there is failure of medical management, diet, drugs, lifestyle, and as Dr. Ankur showed, failure of endoscopy, a sarcopenia must be assessed during various scoring system based on axial CT scan, and it should be excluded. Patients of sarcopenia with obesity, if they undergo bariatric surgery, their outcome is going to be bad. Then you have to see how much fibrosis is there. If there is low likelihood of fibrosis, they are eligible for bariatric surgery without any problem. If a patient has an intermediate or high risk of advanced fibrosis and LSM is less than 8, then again they can go for bariatric surgery. Those who have LSM more than 8, then has an intermediate or high risk of advanced fibrosis, liver biopsy and HVPG should be done. If it shows cirrhosis or bridging fibrosis, then portal hypertension should be quantified using HVPG. If HVPG is less than 10, then they can undergo bariatric surgery. Between 10 to 15, the patient should be individualized. HVPG more than 15, if required, they should go bariatric surgery only at the time of liver transplantation, not before that. And again, endoscopy should be performed to screen for varices. Those who have significant varices, they should not be undergoing a bariatric surgery before liver transplant. So this was modified from algorithm given in seminars in liver disease, open to discussion. Now coming to conclusion, the bariatric surgery improves candidacy for liver transplant in carefully selected patients. Patients with a history of bariatric surgery fare worse on wait list. Those who are transplanted after bariatric surgery have a similar outcome, but they are very carefully selected group of patients. Multidisciplinary approach should be there. So a selection of patients for bariatric surgery based on objective parameters is the need of the time. You have to select out patients. We can't have a blanket treatment. Long-term follow-up to find out the effectiveness of bariatric surgery in preventing progression of liver disease. Although some data is there, but patients with advanced liver disease, what happens to them after bariatric surgery? There is very sparse data. What is the correct timing of bariatric surgery in NFLD? And there are no prospective studies on timing of bariatric surgery in liver transplant candidates. Thank you.